What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders and the House of the Dragon. It is the 9th day of February, and here we are sitting at about $521, roughly 8 hours, 42 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it, okay? Let's talk about the price action here and what we may expect to see over the coming days. We're in a rather peculiar situation where we could be continuing on with the momentum of this initial pump here to the upside, like right now, today. Or maybe this momentum got stopped dead in its tracks as soon as it happened, and now we're going to pull back and see a higher low. By the way, if we do pull back, that's fine, right? Again, the minimum standard that we needed to see was something like 25% or 27%, whatever, and we did that. I'm glad that we pumped that much. The reason why, again, I wanted us to pump this much, and this is just the way that I think of things. I'm sure there's other people who think the same way, but if you have an area that you're finding support at, you're getting 30% pumps in a week and a half, or you're getting 27% pumps in 2 days, if we're getting a weaker reaction off of this level instead of getting stronger reactions, that's not a good thing. And we were looking forward to seeing a stronger reaction. That would be a really good thing, right? If weaker reactions are a bad thing, stronger reactions are a good thing, ideally. But this is good enough. I mean, we don't have to move up higher. It doesn't have to be an immediate push higher. It would be nice. It would have been nice to see, but this is okay. So if what happens if we pull back from here? Nothing. It's fine. It's totally fine if we pull back from here. Hopefully we find a higher low, and then we can build from there and continue moving higher. Let's look at the short-term stuff and see what's going on. I don't even know if we do pull back from here or not. I want to look at the 1 hour time frame and then zoom out, so let's do that. As you can see, volume is dying off. Volume is just gone with the wind. We broke out. You broke out of this with no volume. You can think of this whatever you want to. Okay, you think of this range as whatever you want. You don't have to share the same opinions as me, but I'm going to share you my opinions right now. If we were here, I don't know why it's doing that. If we were here and we were thinking, okay, we're going to break out. Whoops, I can't draw a straight line. We're going to break out one way or another, right? We're in this wedge. We're either going to break out to the upside or the downside. If we broke out to the upside and the volume looked like this, like it just died off, it kept getting worse. It's just dying off like this. It's not picking up. I would be scared. If we broke out to the upside, like this is a fake out, we're probably going to come down. Okay? Why shouldn't that same exact logic be applied here? Because we broke out to the downside. Pretty solid move, relatively speaking. It's really not that big of a deal. You know, you went from like 527 to 512. Oh no, but pretty solid move, relatively speaking. And no volume. Again, if we did this exact same thing but to the upside, I would be scared right now. So this gets me excited. This gives me a little bit of hope, and it does kind of further. What's the word I want to use here? I don't know. Detail, illustrate, allow for this inverse head and shoulders kind of idea to take place, right? The inverse seagull of prosperity and riches. The Dragon Riders, we're going to be flying on the white seagull actually for now. It's white because I'm racist. No, because the line's white, because the background's black, right? If anything, we've got more black here, so I'm anyways. I'm trying to be silly in this very highly polarized time where you can't be silly at all, because if you be silly, then you're just condemned, man. It's crazy. But who cares? We're going to move on. We're going to move on. $521 right now. White seagull of glory and riches. It's going to take us higher. We're going to meet the green dragon one day. Let's see. Looking at this here, 521 with our indicators. The RSI is bearish, right? Lower lows, lower highs. We are in a downtrend, but you have hit the oversold zone, which is exactly what we were talking about yesterday, that you could hit this oversold zone and still not really go down at all. And that's what you saw. I would have thought that you stayed in this range, but you broke out a little bit, whatever. You're basically still in this range. We could go a little bit lower. We are at the point where we'd reject to go lower. It's not uncommon for these type of ranges to finish in the oversold zone. And while you did get in the oversold zone, I don't know if that's enough. Like, I mean, let's just see. Let's go back in time and see. Like here you had a downward sloping range, right? That's how it ended, right? With probably even some bullish divergence. And even that didn't break you out and send you higher. You actually went lower afterwards. But still, this downward sloping channel ended like this, not like this, right? Downward sloping channel here, you had one tip, but you came back in, right? Downward sloping channel here, you had like one area, but still it wasn't just like one tip like this. You kind of consolidated in this area. Downward sloping channel here, again, multiple iterations down there. It's not that this can't be the end of this downward sloping channel. It's not that from here we can't break out. We could. It's just not the statistical probability. So being that we're at the upper limits of our channel, being that we're also at the 50 on the RSI, we've got lower highs and all that stuff, and we haven't really gone too deep into the oversolds, and I think we're going to go a little bit lower. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I hope that when we do go lower, that we don't pick up volume. Okay, that wouldn't be fun. We don't want to do that. Or if we do pick up volume, we should pick up more volume on the way back up. Hopefully we move back up in a very short amount of time. I don't like that we broke out. I do like that there's no volume. I don't like that we're back testing it for resistance where we found support before. So there's goods and bads here. But again, with this overall kind of idea, I mean, we could go lower. We could go to this low. We could go to this low. We could go to this low. There's still a chance where Bitcoin Cash could even go below that low. It can happen. It's not my call. That's not my call. I would think that we find some support somewhere in proximity to this $510 level. Maybe we go just below $500. We find support here at like $599 or $499. I'm not expecting that we interact with this low, let alone lower prices than that. Anything can happen though. Be open-minded. Stochastics kind of look good here, but they're ranging like the RSI is, right? You have a bit of a downward sloping channel. With that being said, it looks like you're breaking out of it. I don't know. That's kind of good. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we don't move down. By the way, let's actually, what would it take to prove me wrong here? Let's just see. Low to high. So we're at the 236. It's actually nice. It's actually pretty nice. We've shown a couple points of turbulence up here. Not just like direct turbulence one time. We didn't just come up here, found resistance right here, and now we're down here. We actually flirted with this a lot, so that's nice. And we're finding direct support here. You disrespected this level of resistance, but you held that, regarded it respectfully for support. I kind of like that look. If I was wrong, what I would say, I mean, you would just have to get above these highs here. We'd have to see prices at like 540 or higher. If we go to 540 or higher, at that point, I would accept that I was wrong. We're probably not coming down to this level. Look at that too. The 382 is right there, just below $500, 493, somewhere around 490, 500. I could see us finding support there. But if not, if we're not doing that, then you'd prove me wrong by getting above 540, which we're at 521 now. That's a little bit of a difference in price. You know, it's not like but it's not a large movement, right? Just get above 540. You get above 540, I'm wrong. Or go down here, prove me right. Once we get above 540, then it's time to get excited. However you want to look at it, whatever. 4 hour time frame, looking at it like this, the RSI, again, is very sad. It's a very sad looking RSI. You've got lower highs all throughout this, and we have here higher highs all throughout this on the RSI. You do have higher lows and higher highs, which is nice. It's the one nice thing that you have here. But the higher highs in the RSI with the technical lower highs in the price, that is hidden bearish divergence. That doesn't mean we're going to plummet to our deaths. That just means, okay, we might pull back a little bit, which I think we're doing that right now. When I say a little bit, I really do mean just a little bit. The RSI can come back down to the oversold zone, and if we did that, we'd probably see prices below $500 if we got back down to this low in the RSI on the 4 hour time frame. Stochastics can go lower if they want to. The MACD just crossed above the zero, which is pretty damn spectacular. The only thing is, we're choppy and sideways. So I don't know how reliable that information is. We crossed above the zero here, and look at how great that did us. We were choppy and sideways there too. We crossed above the zero. It didn't amount to anything. It was just a point to find resistance at. Right? So we'll see. I'm hopeful, but not concerned if we go lower. Depends on how we go lower. Daily RSI double bottom, that also gives me some reassurance here that we're probably not going to go lower than this low, that this is a low area for Bitcoin Cash. The stochastics are weird. I'm not going to get a whole lot off of that. And the MACD is not positive, but you are about to cross green, which is also nice in itself. I mean, let's just see. Last time your oscillators, these lines here, the orange and the blue line, last time they were this low, right, it was over here. Your histogram seems to be at a very similar level there as well. Whenever we flipped green, we were down here, just like, hey, we might be right here flipping green. And whenever we flipped green there, let's just see. What was that? That was after the low happened. Did we move up and through the roof? No. But we did move up 30% in like a week. And then we came back down, we configured ourselves, and then we had a nice path for like a month or two where we actually moved up. Right? Gave all of it back. It's kind of irrelevant now, or maybe a moot point now, but still a relevant idea as far as the fact that we have a double bottom here in the RSI, we had a double bottom back here in the RSI. Our oscillators and our histograms are basically at the same levels. We're about to cross up. There's a pretty solid chance that this was the low. We're not there yet. We haven't confirmed it yet, but I'm pretty comfortable calling that the low. $521 right now. Get above 540. I think we validate that as a low if we get above 540. You really want to put it in cement. 571, the golden ratio, close days above there. That'll really be good. And just literally speaking, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but doing this, consolidating in this range, typically does take you above the golden rate. I mean, this is the type of behavior. I've made a fib video where I talked about this exact thing, where I talk about the possible outcomes, the kind of like quote unquote schematics, where you're coming down from your high point, you're coming down here, finding support. Here's your high point, just like here's your high point here, here's your low point, right? You're coming down. You go up to your 382, 236, golden ratio, 0.5, 786, golden ratio, and then up, and then you get your big breakout move or something like that, right? And it might not be that cut and dry, but that's just an ideal kind of idea whenever I think about like a standard fib retracement back to the upside. There are times where you go right through the 236, right through the 382, and instead you consolidate here. And in these times, these are the ones where you do break through the golden ratio and you go to the 786, 886. It's not that you have to. You could get stopped here in the golden ratio. Maybe you do, but statistically speaking, you have a better chance now than you normally would to break through the golden ratio and go here without actually stopping at this level. Doesn't mean that you can't stop there. You could. There's still a good chance that you could, but the chances are better now in this type of environment that you break through than they are just in like this type of environment where you're doing this stuff, right? That's all I'm trying to say. I don't know how much sense that makes, but I meant what I said, and I feel like it made sense to me. If it didn't make sense to you, maybe that's my problem. I don't know. Daily time frame, we already went over that. Let's go over the 3-day. Should we do the 3-day? I mean, here's a thought. The last time we were oversold, we were range bound sideways, and it's once we got that slightly lower low, that's whenever we moved up. The time before that we got oversold, we were range bound and sideways. We got a slightly lower low, and that was the bottom, but it took some time, and then we moved up. And then in that kind of grand context, once we got slightly lower here, that's whenever we moved up again. I don't think that we're going to go all the way down there, but just the thought again, we're in this range, we're moving sideways. We have a slightly lower low here. I'm kind of excited to see what comes next. Again, just more dots connecting that I think that we do have a low. It's not valid yet, but it's promising. Weekly time frame. I'm not a big fan of the weekly RSI. I was up here. This was awesome. I don't like this. I don't like this dynamic though. Because here, I thought we were going to break through. Like there was so much potential there. Fortunately, it did not come to light. I don't like the weekly RSI. I don't hate it. It's pretty neutral. The reason I don't like it is because I want it to be more bullish, right? I feel like we're in a very bullish time. I'd want to see more implications that we're going to go up, but I don't see much here. It's not bearish. It's not bullish. It's very neutral. Overall, it's bullish. But right here in this little pocket, we're neutral. Stochastics are technically bearish, and the MACD technically is bullish as well. So bullish weekly time frame. that doesn't help us out necessarily with the short-term stuff as far as are we going to go below 500 or not, but I do believe we go a little bit below 500. I do believe we hold this low as a low, and I do believe sometime probably over the coming days we should be recovering and moving back up. And I wouldn't be surprised if, again, by the end of this week, we were above $600. We break out of this zone, we get above here. Likely what's going to happen is, at least I think, we're probably not going to stop in the golden ratio zone. We will go to the 786, 886 area. If we go all the way down to 475, we find support there, that's fine. We've kind of really got that like inverse head and shoulders, complex inverse head and shoulders look. But if we find support there at the 236, I would say then the likelihood that we stop in the golden ratio goes up a lot. If we're just below the 382, I think we're okay. But if we go all the way down to the 236, understand this is not our target zone anymore. This is, okay? That right there. So anything technically from 571 to 650 is what we're looking at. I'm looking at 620 to 650 personally, probably by the end of this week. But something at 570 at least should come our way here pretty soon. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.